Hey everybody, soybean farmer. Today's February the 4th. Got 15 bags of 10-10-10 fertilizer here. $12 a bag. What I'm up to is too small of a job to get the truck to come out here and spread it, so I'm going to get that orange thing sitting down there, which is a 3-point hitch fertilizer spreader. But as usual, I got the wrong thing hooked up to the tractor. I was hoping, in fact I might later this afternoon be able to get out here and do some of the tillage work I want to do with this. But suppose you can kind of look, oh, look at that big bird. Wonder if the camera's got him. But anyhow, you kind of check the cloud cover. It's pretty thick. They're calling 20-30% chance of rain tonight. Today's Tuesday, and by Thursday they got rain chances up around 90 to 100%. That'll be typical with the rain once a week thing they got going on around here this year. But anyhow, last October I planted some rye grass in several spots back there. And the spots that had beans on them just jumped and did real good. Beans fix nitrogen and leave it in the soil. And the spots that did not were pitiful. They're still alive, they haven't died, but putting some food on them is going to get it to jump and go, because I want to leave the rye on that land. Don't think I'm going to plant beans on it this year, coming up 2020. Sometime, you know, April, late April's when I get started planting. I think I'm just going to leave the rye standing on it. So anyhow, I want to get the fertilizer out. So I need to get that cranked, that disconnected, and that connected. We'll be back in a minute. All right, we got the disc put up over there. Hope to get back to that this afternoon. This won't take long once it get rolling. What took the longest part, that PTO shaft, thing is a royal pain to get connected down there to the bottom of that fertilizer hopper. But praise God, we accomplished it. It's done. So next step in our little task is make sure that door's shut. That's always embarrassing. Yep, that's shut fully now. You know, you go to dumping fertilizer in a hopper and the bottom door's open. That's wasteful and expensive. So now we got to get this stuff here to get in there. And that's going to be fun. Nothing's happening. Okay. Still, nothing's happening. First time that I've had a chance to get back here. Having trouble getting time off from work. The last harvest video, I got just a little bit of out here with cousin Scott getting started. He finished us up this year getting the beans off of this field, and looks like he had a little bit of slugfest through here, but not surprising. Anyhow, what I'm out here doing, this little spot right here, I've let it lay out this year. I had sweet grazer sorghum on it. The sweet grazer sorghum pulled all the nitrogen that the beans left in it out. I'll walk out here and see what it's going to feel like for getting on this. Anyhow, we dry mowed the sorghum down. I can see a little bit of its matter laying on the ground here. And then we planted this rye. We did it last October. and there was nothing left in this soil, and it's poor soil anyhow, especially this spot right in here. Over on that edge it gets a little better, and right through there it gets a little better, but there was just nothing left here for this rye to feed on. So that's why we got that rig set up. We're going to throw out some fertilizer on this right here. And this spot over here, let's walk over here. I've got bad nematode infestation, and it's a real strange shape where we got rye in here. Rye kind of sort of helps knock down the nematode population. But the beans that were here had just started to fix nitrogen when the nematodes pretty much wiped them out. So cousin disced this up, and I actually planted the rye in here, and I can see a lot more green and a lot better progress over here because the rye got a hold of some nitrogen that the beans had left in the ground, especially this spot right here. So I want to get a little taste of fertilizer on this, because I'm not going to put beans on this year. I'm going to let it lay out, let this rye stay on it. Try to get this land healed up and get this nematode problem under control before I put beans back in this spot. Now over there is fine. I am going to use some treated seed on this entire field, and over there is fine. I got a sandy spot over there. It's drought knocking that out, and we had 3 prolonged periods of heat and drought last year. That's what messed up the yields on the farm this year. But anyhow, let's go over to the other field where I've got this rye, and I'll show you the difference between nitrogen fixation from beans and unavailable. I'm standing out here in what I call the 2-acre piece. You can see how poor that is over there with the rye coming along. And as I pan back this way, I'm standing just about on the line, diagonal up across here. You see how nice that gets right over there? All right, as the story goes of what happened, 2018 harvest, from about right here down, we couldn't get the combine in there. Limited time, work off the farm, got to use your time wisely to get what you can done. We aborted it and left it. The beans stood, they dropped their beans, beans sprouted, beans grew on that spot. Didn't replant it 2019, just let it sit. Volunteer beans grew on it 2019, didn't touch them, and long about October, early October, took a jai mower to it, jied it, cut it up, took a disc to it, cut it up, took a disc to jai mower to all of this because it had sweet grazer sorghum on it. Now that sweet grazer sorghum that was on this pulled all that nitrogen out. That sorghum actually looks pretty good, and I never gave it fertilizer. It lived off of the bean nitrogen. But since that sorghum pulled all that nitrogen out, just like that spot over there I showed you, the rye's got nothing to feed on, and that's why I'm out here with fertilizer. And you can see as I turn completely around, that line goes right up through there. It's just differences day and night. Where the sorghum was at, where I just let the beans rest and sit there and pretty much do their thing, the beans put nitrogen in the soil. The sorghum took it out. So I'm going to fertilize this entire piece, and I'll get into that some. It's growing fine, but this out here, I really want it to get some nitrogen on it. There's a red spot over there I would really love to see something make in. But anyhow, let's roll, get it done.